Thank you, Cornsey, and welcome to the From the 108 podcast. Get ready for some baseball, beer, and bullshit. And remember the drinking rules. If Beef Loaf says allegedly, or that he wrote a blog about that, you drink. If My Sock Summer doesn't know a player or mentions his time on the West Coast, you drink. If I swear or say here's the thing, you drink. Beef Loaf, how you doing, my brother?
Breezy, My Sock Summer, I am absolutely fucking heartbroken tonight. And I might need to 108 myself into Bolivia because of this. Okay.
Into Bolivia. I love
Bolivia
it.
or Bolivian?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
If you remember last week's podcast, great podcast. We had a great time. Right after that podcast, I raced upstairs. I got a little something to eat, got back on the computer, and I reached out to my guy, Cody Hur, on Twitter. And I told him, give me a follow back. And I'm going to make you Twitter famous, bro. And sure enough, he followed me right the fuck back. And I started pumping his brand up and through the 108 and all this shit. And the guy picked up like 250 followers. I mean, basically added about 25% to his follower base. So I'm crawling into bed Tuesday night. I'm flipping through my phone. I happen to go to my my follows. He's no longer following me. He fucking unfollowed the people, man.
He's out. Cucked.
He hit it and quit it. He turned me out, and I'm completely devastated. I don't know what to do, boys. What do I do in this spot?
Better content. You got to come up with better content.
He's like, oh shit, this guy posts about everything he does on Twitter. I can't have this shit up in my timeline. I don't need this shit. That's probably what he was thinking.
Maybe he fucking hates Dr. Rick.
Oh, you better not. See, this is what I'm wondering.
That's a good point.
Your feed is 85% Dr. Rick.
So, I mean, couldn't he have the decency to just mute me? I mean, that's what most people do. I have about almost 5,000 followers. I assume 3,800 of them have me muted right now. No one wants to see all the shit I got going there. No one cares.
I mean, I have you muted, so yeah,
I respect that.
People do that. Yeah,
that's the way it should be done, in my opinion.
We have to do that sometimes.
I mean, and I'm a guy. You guys know me. I'm a guy who holds grudges, so I don't know what I'm going to do for this season. I don't know if he's going to be my guy anymore because of this. If he had just ignored me, that would have been better. I don't know what to do with this unrequited love. I'm really not sure, especially because we had a little fling and now it's over. I'm really bummed, boys.
Wow, that's big.
You know what, man? You got turned out like a $2 hoe. Just fucking deal with it. Just fucking deal with it.
So, I'm looking at the YouTube, right?
Yes.
And I'm just checking, because I've been upping I just got the lamp, right? So I've been upping the wattage because I look very dark. And I don't think a dark background, it might be the best thing for me to do. So next week, I will not have a dark background. But that's not my banter.
All right.
Can I do my banter, or is Loaf done?
It sounds like Loaf's done. Loaf's
Are you
turned
done?
out. He's turned out, man.
I'm done for the whole podcast. I'm just going to sit here and sulk. This fucking sucks. I'm so sad right now.
So today, I posted, or yesterday, I think I posted, about how Punky Brewster having a reboot on the Paramount Plus network was a sign. I don't know what it means, but it's a sign of something. Could potentially mean that Hollywood is 100% out of ideas, and they're like, you know what? Fuck it. Let's just redo every fucking thing we've already done and do it again. Okay, so Silver Spoons is coming back soon enough, right? Like, it's going to happen. You know, Growing Pains, they'll just call it something different. Like, we'll just get all the shit, all the old shit, make it new again.
My Sock Summer, I'm not sure if Silver Spoons is going to come back because I think Ricky Schroeder's persona is a little shot right now. I could be wrong about that. He's been some bad stuff in the news.
Really?
We shouldn't get into it, but I don't think he has Hollywood persona going for him.
I don't know about this. I'll have to check this
either.
out. This feels like something I need to read later.
But so anyway, I think his name's Jay Cook. Jay Cook responded to me and said, "Oh man, remember her sex tape?" And I'm like, "No, I don't. I don't remember this at all. Like, I have no idea that this even existed." And I was like, "Wait, are you sure you mean Punky Brewster?" And he goes, "Oh yeah, that one." And he didn't describe the actual sex tape, but he said some things that alluded to me that, yeah, it probably exists. So he's like, yeah, a lot of nudes got leaked. No, they didn't. Because I went and Google searched and I see absolutely no naked pictures of Salil Moon Fry. Okay. I can't not find them anywhere. That is not how the internet works. Okay, that you can find him something, right? There's a trace something somewhere, usually. Okay. There's some special cases like the Hulk Hogan sex tape, right? I've never seen it. I heard it exists. I've never seen it, but I know it's out there because if I Google Hulk Hogan sex tape, about a billion things fucking come up talking about the Hulk Hogan sex tape. Mostly about the size of his huge wang and how racist he is. His huge white racist wang. That's what the biggest thing that
Wang
comes
is
up.
racist? Oh
Yeah,
my God.
it's 100% racist.
I don't believe that.
Every
Oh, like
bone
black
in his
chick-
body, apparently.
Nah. It tells Mexican ladies to get back to where they belong. That's what his dick says. So anyway, and so as I'm going through this, and I'm like, I'm giving Jay Cook the benefit of the doubt that okay, maybe he's right. But like, I'm like Googling Celine Moon Fry, sex tape. Absolutely nothing. Or read a whole article about her, how she talks about how she consensually had sex with Charlie Sheen. I'm assuming pre-AIDS. And like when she was like 18, when soon as she turned 18. And
then I would guess.
So I'm like, I'm probably gonna find out somewhere where she's gonna be like, yeah. And then the sex tape came out, and then I was like down in the dumps. But no, that never fucking happened. So I don't know what Jay Cook's smoking. I don't know if he got it at Midway Dispensary. I don't know what it's up. But like, brother, I think this is like one of those things that they call, like, remember, like everyone thought it was the Berenstein Bears, and it's actually the Berenstein Bears, or like
Stain Bears.
Stain, yeah, whatever.
So how dare you?
But and then like
Beef.
what, like the Shazam, like Sinbad was in a genie movie, but that never existed or some shit. Like there was like all these collective memories that people have. But I think Jay Cook might be alone in the Celine Moon Fry like sex tape, because I don't know anybody that's ever seen it.
Beef, it's like right now it's like 8:30 p.m. like while we're doing this.
Yeah.
So it's about 20 to 21 hours into the day.
I'm still thinking about it.
How many hours of that do you think My Sock Summer spent on the internet looking for this? Now, assume he slept. I'll give him 6 of those hours. So let's say there's 14 remaining hours. 14 hours he's been awake. How many were used looking for this sex tape?
I mean, it's got to be a solid 90 minutes to 2.5 hours. Like an initial look, and then like what he found was disappointed, and then he went and did stuff, and then later he's like, I'm not going to be deterred. I'm definitely going to find this shit. And he went back in, and still nothing. You know what it reminds me of is like, Treasy, when you'd hear about weird shit where you're like, I don't know if that really exists, and you have a friend or two go out there and look for some shit, and it wouldn't always have to be dirty shit. It would just be shit that was like, interesting, but know, it's like, is that really on the internet? And I kind of want to reach out to Mr. Papa Giorgio and see if he could find this for us. He's one of those guys who could find it,
He knows.
Yeah, I mean, like I kind of want to search for it now myself, because I want to find it in 5 minutes and then be like, what are you talking about? But I'm sure I can't, because my assumption is that you could have watched The Irishman in the time that you spent looking for this. That's just my wild guess.
Oops, I forgot. I was supposed to text Mr. Han when we went live, and I forgot. So sorry, Mr. Han. Hope you're live watching.
What, he needs an invitation or what? What's the deal?
I don't know. That's
Turn
another
the
thing.
notifications on.
He only asks us like 3 times during the day. What time you guys going live? We're always like 8:30. Same as the last year.
Same
as the week before. Same thing like I used to tell you, Love. You'd be like, what time we doing this tonight? Like 8:30. Same as we always fucking do it. So
exactly.
It's all good. I mean, it's like same bad time, same bad channel. How you doing, Treasy?
I'm doing good. And I'm gonna stay on people being overly horny topic. But so like yesterday, I worked like, I don't know, fucking all day. It feels like all night and all day, sometimes. And I get done with work and I'm just going to turn on the news for like 5 minutes, and hopefully I could see like, oh man, we got so much vaccine, we don't know what to fucking do with it. Come down to CVS. Like that's what I'm hoping to see when I turn it on. But instead, what I see is the governor from New York, Cuomo. And I don't know a lot about politics, but this guy is obviously in trouble for some shit that he did. And he's literally on TV pulling the George Costanza of like, was that wrong? Should I have not done that? I've worked in a lot of offices, and I'm just like looking at it, and I'm thinking, you were the governor of fucking New York. Do you think people in New York don't watch Seinfeld? You're doing a Costanza. What the fuck is happening?
That's how he relates. He knows that they have seen it, so that's how he relates to them. He knows.
Yeah, but they know the guy's full of shit too. Like, I mean, like he's basically taking taking notes from the most famous liar outside of John Lovett's character on SNL. It was unreal. I'm just like, what are you doing? What is happening here? How is this your apology? Fucking me.
I don't even know what he did. Seriously, what the hell?
It's like sexual harassment stuff.
Oh,
and like, but he's like basically
the brother or the mayor?
The mayor, the governor,
God.
The governor,
or the governor. Yeah,
he's a governor.
He is someone's brother, but he's also a governor.
Yeah, I know. But there's the brother that's on the
There's
the
one on
CNN,
TV, right?
He's like a talking head, right, on TV.
Yeah, he's a CNN guy. I mean, I know he was like he's a single governor. So like, you know.
I don't think so.
No, he's single. Yeah, he's single because
You
he was on
sure?
this. Yeah, he was on the Stern show, and they were trying to hook him up with Robin because that joke didn't get old after 1985. But yeah, they definitely I think he's single.
Okay,
So like he's an available guy.
I'll take your word for it. He's still wrong and fucked up.
Oh,
But-
I'm not saying it's okay.
Yeah.
to
No,
do
I
that.
didn't think you
Yeah.
were. I just like his whole speech. I was like, I'm like listening to it, and I'm like turning the corners. Like this is a Costanza. He's doing a Costanza.
I mean, I tend to avoid all politicians talking, much like I avoid Rick Hahn talking most of the time, because they don't live in reality. So they start saying shit, and it's just you're just looking around like, do you believe this, or do you think we believe this? Like, what exactly is going on here? And that's how I feel with Rick Hahn a lot of the time. I'll say some bullshit, and it's like, yeah, the money was spent. It was spent on all these extensions. It's like the payroll's lower than it's ever been. What do you mean the money is spent? I mean, there's no money spent here. What the fuck?
But Beef, what I really turned on the TV for was I wanted to see if they were going to show that graph of the Johnson & Johnson effect on the virus that just looks like a huge wing.
Oh yeah, I saw that. It
Saw
looked
that
like
on
drippy
Vice?
wing.
Yeah, it looked like I mean, it had a
Oh my
candy
God.
apple on top of it. I'll tell you.
Had a head like an alley cat. It's a classic.
You definitely turned down the horniness. Good job, Tracy. Talking
Speaking
about
of
wings.
huge wings. What are you guys drinking? Beef, what are you putting in your mouth tonight?
Well, I'm ooh, hello. I'm drinking down some rum. I have this bottle of rum. I think I won this in a gift basket.
Oh, nice.
So I'm having a little rum, and I'm going with the jar today. I got an old jar that I had been using for drinks. I got a little lime in there. I got the Dr. Pepper. Diet Dr. Pepper's what I'm mixing in there. And then I had to I'm Mexican, so I gotta get some fresh lime we're gonna squeeze in there. So I'm really enjoying my drink so far. There's only one problem. Rum gets me exceptionally buzzed up. So I have a feeling by the end of this, I will be completely off the rails. You might have to mute me, just like we had to mute My Sock Summer in 108 Fest.
Come on.
It's interesting that you're drinking like white rum with Diet Dr. Pepper, and I'm thinking this is the best shit I've seen you drink in a month.
That's because it is. I was actually thinking today, I was like, it had warmed up the last couple of days in the backyard. Yeah, the little beef patio in the back where the hot tub is for the Sunday soak. The snow's cleared off, and I was like, oh man, I'd love to sit out here and have a couple beers, because I think I had a beer with you on Saturday, Treasy, but other than that, that's the only beer I've had in like 2 months, and I'm like, man, I've been doing a good job drinking through this shit, but I got to get back on the beer train. It's much more delicious than all the bullshit I've been drinking lately.
Yeah. You're looking like you're losing a lot of weight.
Yeah, right.
I gotta admit, Beef, it was weird having to share any of my beers. It was like,
sure.
That's the first time I've shared any of my beers in many months. My Sock Summer, what are you drinking, man?
I got all sorts of shit over here.
That's what I like to hear.
No surprise. So I had to go. I went over to the Binnies. I picked up the brand spanking new 312 Shandy.
Oh yeah.
So I had one of those already.
Ooh,
now
nice.
listen, if you like 312 and you like Shandies, it's a good beer. Okay, that's exactly what you're looking for. It's a good summer beer. I think my mouth is all worked up for stouts. I'm not there yet. I mean, we're just like what 2-3 weeks removed from digging ourselves out of 8 feet of snow. Like the lemon beer right now is not what I'm thinking. I need something thick and hard in my mouth. So
It's like the vaccine.
I got this new one. It's called Little Risk. It's a session stout from our good friends at Goose Island.
Ooh, that sounds awesome. A session
Lord.
stout.
Yeah, so I never seen this before, and they've never given me one of these before. So I was like, you know what? Fuck them. I'm gonna buy it and rub it in their faces, and I'm gonna drink it. Now, before I could leave, I saw a 4-pack of something that our man Brewhand Luke has reviewed. So I said, you know what? I'm gonna try it. So I got the Smells Like Bean Spirit, and it's the double maple. So I have not tried it yet. I've been pouring it here, waiting for Loaf to stop talking so I could have a drink during this part. And here it is. It was my first drink.
Well, let's see it.
Oh, wow.
You look so fancy doing that.
Oh my God.
He does.
He's not.
He looks like an elitist bitch doing that, doesn't he, Treasy?
There's no like this smells delicious and it tastes like even better. This is so fucking good. He was right. Like he said, this is like a really, really good beer. It is delicious. Like I can't imagine having 2 of them, but like I don't know. We'll see. Maybe I'll try it tonight. But it's like it has a really good maple after. Oh, it's good. I mean, that's fucking good. I mean, it's not cheap, but it's good. Let's put it that way.
You guys are going after it tonight.
They got the little tugboat.
Wow. It's a little horny.
There we go.
Put it in the camera, please. Thank you.
Stuff. Yep. And then we got the little bean guy with his little ding dang. Yeah, right there.
It didn't look that little to me. I don't know.
Oh, I mean, in
quite the coffee bean.
From perspective, check it out.
He's doing all right. He's doing all right. All right. What are you drinking, Treasy?
So I was like, man, I got another League of Heroes 12-pack. And I was like, man, I'll be doing the 7%ers. Feels like a lot. You guys are way outpacing me. Like that's wild. But so I was actually gonna pick up the 312 Shandy, and I almost knocked down the whole display at Benny's. Like I'm just not used to being outside. I'm not used to being around other people. And like I had
he's like young Frankenstein. He can't move. His thumb will be on fire before you know it.
So Beef, you know the jacket I have with it's got like the thumb hole in there. So like you got like the sleeve comes up to here.
Yep.
Like up to your fingers. And
the hoodie with the thing.
And so like I kind of misgrabbed using that, and I pushed so there's a stack of 312 Shandies like this, and then there's 2 other stacks next to it of different beers, and I fucking went to grab it and I moved the whole stack and it started to fall. It was almost a whole domino situation. And so I was like, not buying that. And then, and then I saw the League of Heroes and I was like, oh, they have a Nelson hero. And I don't care if it's the band Nelson or if it's Josh Nelson.
Yeah,
I'm gonna try it. And it's a hazy.
Okay.
It's a hazy. It's quite delicious. So I'm gonna have a couple of these. There's some other heroes in there, like some Zenith and some Centennial. I'm gonna be in fantastic shape very shortly.
I can't wait for that. Teresa, you ever notice something about when My Sock Summer talks about a beer, and if he has zero opinion on the beer, he says, if you like this style of beer, whichever style of beer it is, you'll like this. That's when he has no opinion whatsoever. When he has zero opinion, that's what he gives.
That's not true.
He does.
Yeah, that's what it is.
I feel like it was an unfair first test of the 312 Shandy. I think that should be done when it's a little bit warmer outside and I'm a little hot, not when I'm eating my dinner, which just happened to be a breakfast for dinner. It didn't really go good with the breakfast for dinner.
You had a bowl of cereal and 312.
I should have had the Smells Like Beard and Spirit for breakfast while I was eating it.
Ooh.
But it wasn't ready to go yet. It wasn't cold enough.
Get some of those for breakfast on the 13th.
Boy.
No shit. This is a motherfucker, dude. This is good.
By the way,
literally,
the 13th is lining up, fellas. I've
been seeing those messages.
Yeah, so we got some. I'll throw a couple names out so far. So
you teasing?
Yeah, why not tease it?
Right,
we got our boy Sammy P. He's gonna be up there. Sammy Panayotovich. He's gonna be up there. I think we got some White Sox Dave is gonna be joining.
Yes.
Um,
Allegedly.
Shane Reardon from 670 is going to be there too.
Yep.
And I'm pretty sure we got P. Knowles on board too. And let's see who else is in. I think there's one other person that's down who's actually in, which is Summer George, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
So far that's what we got. That might end up being it, and we might just go extended with everybody, or we might add a few people. We'll see what happens. But either way, that is a morning drinking crew. I got no doubt about how much alcohol is going to be drank that morning.
Oh, there's no question. I can't wait for it, man. It's gonna be awesome.
That's morning wood.
That really is. I mean, and since Treasy's teasing here, we should tease next week. So next week, Thursday night, March 11th, we're doing this podcast. Going to be the 108 tourney bracket reveal. We are going to have guests. We are going to have brackets. We are going to be drunk as hell. Buffalo Wings and Rings is the sponsor again this year, back-to-back years. We'll be talking about them all podcast as well. So make sure next Thursday, block it off, 8:30. We're going to be talking all this shit. It's going to be us three. It's going to be Aloha Mr. Hand. It's going to be White Sox Dave. And we're going to have a time, baby.
We're going to have a lot of Dave in a short amount of time.
We are.
A lot of Dave.
Yeah, if we can handle the cowboy.
Yeah. I wonder if he's going to wear his cowboy hat.
I should sombrero against his cowboy. What do you guys think?
I mean,
wear the sombrero against him?
Let's be honest. We are trying to get Ace on the show. That's really where this
key.
is. Or much like we tried to do with Jim Margulis, we're trying to get the dog to bite Dave.
If that happens, then we've succeeded. That's correct.
I mean, that's the kind of thing that people would tune in to see is Dave getting attacked by his own dog.
Absolutely.
There's definitely a public for that. Yes, there's definitely an audience.
All right, fellas, I'm going to pay some bills real quick. If you've been following my Twitter account, you know I've been betting the Make It Rain promo at PointsBet. Here's how it works. Bet at least $50 on the spread of the Make It Rain game of the day. Every three-pointer your team makes, you get $3 in free play. The other day, guys, I bet $36 free on the Brewers to win the NL Central.
I mean,
it felt fucking fantastic. So everyone get over to pointsbet.com, use promo code 108ing, sign up, and get $250 free with your $250 deposit, and then make it rain. That's pointsbet.com.
Yes.
Promo code 108ing. Don't fuck it up. Go over there and do it right now. All right, guys. It is time to talk some baseball.
Ooh,
and we got a lot of baseball talk. And you know what? A lot of it is our kind of baseball talk too. I think so. We're gonna dive right into it. And there was a poll.
I got
something to say?
Humble brag.
Sure.
Humble brag. The poll just came out. White Sox, booziest fans in the nation, right? That's all due to us, motherfuckers. I don't think there's anybody else that can say, hey, we upped the entire per person drink capacity other than these three people right here and our friends and family.
I tell you, I got a text today.
It's a humble brag.
I got a text today from Blakey Southside, and he's like, this is all the 108.
Yes. I have motherfuckers that don't even know I'm in the 108 thing, putting it on my timeline going, hey, good job. I heard you do this thing on that thing. And I go, yeah, I know. Right? This is where we got it. This is where we're at. Yeah. So I have a little bit. You want me to read about it?
Do it.
Yeah. Chicago White Sox fans were found to drink the most of any fan base in Major League Baseball. According to the study, White Sox fans drink an average of 4.2 drinks per game, not per inning, like we do, per game, and spend about $46, placing them in the #1 spot of booziest baseball fans list. Chicago Southsiders, I love it when people say that, especially people from New Jersey, have been known to get a little rowdy. So it might not be a surprise that the White Sox are ranked #1 on our list of MLB fans who drink the most. And that's from the New Jersey online gambling site. So, yeah, fellas, I mean, I take a bow. I mean, honestly, I feel like we're definitely there.
I'm really proud of this in general. I feel like I looked at it and I was like, yeah, that number seems fine. That seems accurate. But what was weird to me was that this was done by a poll. Like, isn't there actual fucking data? Like,
Right.
I don't
Like,
think
if
the
you-
teams release that data. They don't want that's that's proprietary. No one wants to put that shit out there.
You can't talk about how much money you fucking lose if you
Exactly.
if people know how much you made off beer the previous year. I mean, we
That's
put
absolutely
out
right.
beef. I believe you wrote a blog about this.
It's
I did.
The
I did.
25,000 ounces, was it?
It was. We drank 25,000 ounces a year, and this was before I was going to quite as many games as My Sock Summer, because then we ended up going about the same amount, and it didn't include Wally, and it didn't include Mr. Hand. It included Biggins, who was going to a few more games back then, and the Slump Buster. So if you slip Wally in there, I mean, I think we'll probably end up still kind of in a similar range right
but
there.
The problem is I think it says beer, right? Is this a beer poll?
Oh, that's right. Yeah, because in the yeah, that's true. Well, it's alcoholic beverages. It's not beer.
Oh, okay.
For the poll.
Then
my article was about beer, basically.
Do you have to have purchased them inside, or could you just stuck them in? Because I feel like
prison wallet drinks. I don't know if they count in the poll or not. It's unclear.
I'm not naming names, but some people in the 108 may spike that number up quite a bit if free drinks are included.
Now there was a couple things in here that were a little I wasn't so sure about it. Obviously the White Sox fans. Well, first off, obviously I felt proud like you guys felt, and it was especially hilarious because we didn't tweet about it, but everyone was fucking tagging us in tweets, and I saw different subsets of tweets getting monstrous amounts of likes and retweets and all this shit. And people were like, oh, it's a credit to you guys, 108ers and stuff. It's not. We just build a brand kind of around what already happens. Like we're just we're just a small part of the bigger kind of thing that has always occurred at Sox games. I mean, Treasy and I wrote a blog about a game we went to with our old man when I was like 8 years old or whatever the fuck. And they were shit canned out of their mind. Like, that's what Sox fans do. This is how the tradition goes. So as much as I feel proud of us as a collective, I don't really take credit for it as a 108 brand. I know we're recognized as a boozy drunk uncles, which we are, but it's a collective reward for all of us.
So you're saying that we're people's sight lines into this world, right? We're basically the fleur de lis of
whatever you desire.
Fandom. Is that a good example?
Yes, it is. Now, one thing that caught my eye, though, is that later on in this article that My Sox Summer was reading the earlier part of, it said they have a couple other polls in there. They have the biggest pre-gamers, which the White Sox fans finished third behind the Blue Jays and Cardinals. So that was pretty cool. Okay. And then they had another poll that said biggest lightweight drinkers, and White Sox fans finished first. So I'm like, wait a minute, lightweight drinkers? We're drinking the most. Why are we considered lightweight drinkers? And so I read a little further. It says, however, White Sox fans might not want to jump on the bandwagon to celebrate because they also take the top spot for biggest lightweight drinkers, or fans who admitted to missing some or all of a game due to drinking too much. In my opinion, that's not lightweight drinking.
I mean,
that's just really doing it up properly. Like,
yeah.
if you're such a casual drinker that you never get too buzzed up where you forget you're at a game, or let's say you get the hiccups after drinking too much limoncello, Treasy, and you got to leave in the fifth inning, that's a sign of being a Sox fan, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, though, like it's law of averages here. We're talking about. If you go to 60 games and you're in the top 3 pre-gamers and the number one per game, like over that 60 game set, you're gonna miss a couple innings. You're gonna forget about a couple. You're gonna have to check the score the next morning just to make sure what you think you remember was what happened.
Or every Friday, yeah. Basically.
I mean, shit, man. Like, what do you want from us? Like, we're putting our heart and soul and liver into it. It's gonna miss a couple innings.
I mean, I don't think if I see Sockside Pride standing over by the garbage can recovering after too many bells too hearted, I don't think he's a lightweight drinker. I think maybe just had a little too much fun. Or if all at a game and there's a big group of us in the 108 and Buzz on Tap goes missing. I mean, these are the types of things that just happen at Sox games. That's nothing. I don't think that's lightweight drinking. That's just us enjoying our 108ing and enjoying our team, whatever year that was. I don't even remember.
What Buzz was like like this, drunk, and then he like ate a hot dog. He like moved his mouth and like to eat it, and then like after he was done with the hot dog, he's like, "All right, let's drink." You know, like he just
That's all he needed.
Yeah,
he
all he
wasn't
was. He
even
was
drunk. He
a
wasn't
little
even drunk.
short on
Just
food.
low blood sugar. It was just
Mhm.
low blood sugar. It got
Juice was feeding him like a baby bird, my sock summer. That's
Yes,
the only
he
way he
chewed
could
it up
revive
and
him. He's
spit it
feeding
right
like
into his. Yes, he did.
That's the way you had
Yeah.
to do it, you know?
It was hard because it was one of those disposable straws too. Because once they get wet, it's not. Yeah,
It was the
not the
paper
best.
bullshit. You know, it's
Yes.
not ideal. I agree with you there.
And Wally wasn't sharing his Coke spoon. I mean, his Coke.
Whoa.
straw. I'm
Whoa,
sorry.
hello.
Hold on.
Ooh, wow. I don't know
I'm
what
kidding.
just happened
Well,
there. That's
hold on.
different
Well,
poll. That's a
listen,
different poll,
listen.
my sock summer. Come
Listen,
on.
So
Wally's.
which fans are
Hey.
the most coked up? That's
No.
the next question.
Listen,
Hello.
Wally is clearly too fat to be doing that much cocaine. So let's not worry about that.
That's
All right,
a-
one other
I'm gonna get
harsh
a nice
indictment.
tweet tomorrow at 3:00 in the afternoon when he finally hears that. So all right.
one more note on this article, just to burst everyone's bubble on this whole thing. If you go all the way to the bottom and read about the methodology for this article, you're going to feel a lot. You read this, didn't you?
It's like 2,000 fans or something like that. They
As it said. So the methodology is from January 27th through February 17th, 2021. We surveyed 2,631 self-reporting Major League Baseball fans. That's not even
a fucking
100
per,
fans.
Yeah, 100 per team. Like
It's not even 100 per team. Like
so you
we can do a
basically
108 poll that we have more people in it than that.
like if they, and that's the thing too, like I can't believe there's no like crazy number. Like they must have rounded shit. They must have like got rid of some answers too, because someone said that they drink like 15 beers a game. Just that's total bullshit, but they said it, and like that would have spiked up whatever numbers you had.
There are Sox Twitter accounts who had like half that amount of likes on their tweet about this fucking thing. And there's 2,600 people that they surveyed. I love it because it's such a huge scam. It's such bullshit. And it got them 10 billion clicks because people are like, oh man, this is 100%. The survey. It's like
we're talking about it.
People were involved in this. We're talking about it. Well, the reason why I wanted to talk about it because of the 2,600. Because so
right. Oh yeah.
They're like, you know who we can get to like retweet this? A bunch of Sox fans. Because if you say anything positive about them, they're like, yes, all right, look it, we won this. They're like, hey, check out our participation BP Cup. Here it is, Crosstown Rival Cup, right here. We're holding that. We won that shit. That's ours. And right next to our most boozy fan trophy that will be right in the Scout Lounge when we get back.
Someone tweeted, though, that they should hang a banner above 108. Brooks should get a banner above 108 for us. I'm not opposed to it. Brooks Boyer, we know you're watching. Get it done, baby. Get it done.
Let me text.
It would
just
be
text
awesome
him
if
right
it was
now,
like
okay?
2,635 people agree.
Oh man.
So speaking of being in the park, so some news came out this week, and Lori Lightfoot, our mayor, did not pull a Costanza. It's straight up said that there's going to be no fans as of April 1st. Now, obviously, the Sox don't play April 1st, but nevertheless, people lost their shit. And so I feel like everyone's way overreacting to this. And like, to me, it's amazing. Like everyone that I talked to, Beef, you talked about it 10 minutes ago, is like every politician is so full of shit. I don't listen to anything they say. And then Lori says this, and everyone's like, it's fucking fact. And we're not going to be allowed. We need to break into the park because we're not going to be allowed in. And I'm just thinking, like, all right, so what's going on? What's going on in the news at that time? One, the bars are going up to like 50%, right? Yep. They're staying open later. But then you got like the guy in Texas who's like, hey, fuck the masks. You don't need the masks anymore. This is a direct reaction to that. There's no actual like, there's no reason to even talk about this a month away from it happening. Like, so this is just some bullshit politics shit that I don't want to even care about. Like, let's wait until like the 15th and then see what people are saying. Now, also to that point though, saying that, and then if they reverse course, that is really shitty to the people who have to put together, like, how are we going to get people into the stadium?
There's no
And
question.
it's going to happen. Like we're like on the fucking same day we're hammered out of our minds at noon, like the 13th. We're gonna stumble out of our respective offices. We're gonna walk into our front rooms, turn on the TV, and they're gonna be like, "Hey, fans are gonna be allowed." And then you have like 2 weeks, figure it out.
Yeah, but Tracy, you got to think they're figuring it out right now because they know at some
better
point during
be.
the year you're going to have fans. So all the
I would hope
procedures
so,
and
but,
everything are
like-
being worked out right now. The key though, like what you're talking about, is getting it communicated to everyone so that it
Right.
will work well when it
I mean,
actually
well,
happens.
like,
yeah.
You know,
stuff like
the outside people, not the people in the operations, they'll know what the fuck to do when
Like,
the
if they-
doors open. I'm sure.
if they say like, "Hey, man, we're gonna let 10% of people in," like, well, you got to figure that out, and you got to tell who those 10% are, and you also got to tell who it ain't.
Right.
And those people are going to be really happy. So they're going to be us, basically. They're gonna be like, you guys drank too much. This fucking poll says it. Stay the fuck out.
Well, we did put your banner up. You can't come in, but your
Yeah,
banner is
we
here.
put a
Banner.
banner up. Stay the fuck out of here. You guys
They're
don't
gonna-
even remember going. I heard you on your podcast.
There's gonna be a 10% of vendors there too, probably, right? And then we'll just have one vendor that just sits with us, and he just like is there. Or maybe we go on the honor system. They just say, here's a case of beer. You know, you put your money in, or you swipe your card, and then you just put in what you took, you know, or whatever, and then we don't even have to come serve you. Like, I'm okay with that. I think
My
you guys
sex
would be
summer,
okay with that.
I ever tell you about the time I was on the honor system at a bar?
No.
So speaking of first call, I used to go to this was when I was between jobs. You know, sometimes you don't have a job.
Oh yeah, no, I'm
and-
there. Yeah.
And
I've heard of
and
that.
my buddy, the dude, he worked overnights, and so he would call me up every once in a while and be like, "Hey, you want to meet up for a drink?" Literally 7 a.m. for drinks. His real first call, and we went to what's the Billy Goat?
Is it Rossi's?
No, not Rossi's. This was
Okay.
at the Billy Goat. So they're
Oh,
like
okay.
serving breakfast, which is
Oh,
the Billy Goat breakfast is actually pretty nice.
It's not bad.
But we're in there and we're like, "Oh, we're gonna get some beers," and they just like were like, "Well, just go when you need them. Just go behind the bar and grab them." We were sitting at the bar. There was no one there. They're just like, "Just grab them and then just leave the empties on top. And we'll count it up at the end." Like-
what is this, Shinix? Were you at Shinix or what?
I'm like looking around, like, should I throw these beers out and just have them for free? And then I'm like, these are $2 beers at 7 in the morning.
Right. I
like-
mean,
Just pay for these fucking things. Like it was really a moment of ethical debate in my mind. And I paid. And
good.
I'm a good person. I'm a
Thank
good
you.
person.
It
You
sounds
didn't
like the
tip,
Shinix Thursday
but,
night
yeah.
$10 kitty. Treasy. Remember
Man,
you did the
so-
$10 kitty on Thursday nights before? Like we'd go there and then we'd go out somewhere else usually. You got the $10 kitty, and if someone got a mixed drink out of the kitty,
Yes, that's
kitty
what I was gonna
killer.
say.
People would yell at the person if
Oh.
they got a mixed drink out of there. Everyone's got to get beer so we can, keep this thing nice and easy.
Fucking jagoffs. Who's ordering fucking mixed drinks when you're out there playing? You're playing softball too, right? Or no? This
No,
is
this
free
is
we're
game.
just
Thursday
this isn't
night.
a
This is
winter.
just a
We're
little
just
Friday.
drinking.
Just
We're
do a
just
little
drinking.
Friday.
Just a
Little
little
Friday.
playing darts in the back, and then maybe we're gonna go out to
Drinking
the
nice.
burbs and
Drinking some
whatever.
high lives.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Yeah, I agree with you guys. This is 100% political fucking sham. Somebody just wants to come in at the end and save the shit, and then they could say they did the shit, and then you're like, I'm the one that saved this. Like, I'm the one that got this going. I'm the one that should be responsible. Like I feel like that's where we're headed, and I laughed because I was like, we don't have a game anyway, so I don't understand why it even matters. Yeah, no shit. There's gonna be no fans there because there's no game, dipshits. Like it's all a ruse.
My Sox summer, it's a political thing. They want to take credit for it, just like the 108's taking credit for being the booziest White Sox fans. We're politically taking credit for all this shit.
We were all four of the fans they pulled for White Sox. We were all four of them. We're us and then Mr. Hand.
I kind of want some of the responsible people to actually like come out into the limelight, right? Like I want like some dude to show up who's like a scientist who worked on the vaccine, and he's like, "Yeah, you enjoying those drinks? That's because of me, motherfucker. Now buy me two
Yeah.
2 cases of drinks. This is Comiskey Park. I hear you guys like to have a lot of drinks in this place. I read the banner. It's scientifically sound.
Could I get your credentials? Yeah, right here. I have my GI. I'm Dr. Goose Island. Yes. Look me up. Yeah. That didn't come out very well. It was supposed to be G Island. And I fucked it all up.
You did great. You did great. I'm proud of you.
Did it.
But do you guys want to talk about some actual baseball though?
I would fucking love to. Yeah,
real
let's do
baseball players. So, Beef, I'm gonna big time you here. I wrote a blog about this.
Oh,
so Kopech and Crochet are going to the pen, and you know I wrote the blog in response basically to White Sox Dave, who was very excited about this, and like I get the excitement, you know, like it's, you know, fastballs are horny, right? People love them.
Yeah, I do.
But like to me, this leaves you really thin at starting pitcher. And you start to look at like, you know, Rodon's your 5, and he's always healthy, so not a big deal there. But
he'll be fine.
But then you start to look, you know, like if anyone gets injured, if anyone is sucking, if anyone, you know, just needs to miss a start, like where are you going for starting pitching? And this shit happens every year. Teams use 7 to 10 starting pitchers. There's a lot of innings to eat up, and this is going to be the first. You know, like we skipped a year of conditioning for these guys. They all pitched a short year last year if they pitched. And so now you're going into the long year, and we're going to have this long stretch at the end where it's going to be very important. And you just, to me, you don't have enough starting pitching. And so I'd like to get what you guys think on this and just kind of get some feedback on what I wrote.
Loaf, you want me to go or you want to go?
Go for it, baby.
I was just going to say, just because they're starting there doesn't mean they're going to resound and end there. Like they're going to start them and they're going to see what they can take and how much they can limit their innings. Right. And like, I mean, they like we've talked about several times. Crochet, nobody really knows if he's going to be a good starting pitcher. Like that's still kind of like, we're not really sure. But like starting them out in there and then maybe doing a long relief too for both of those guys. Maybe when we're getting our asses handed to us.
Putting either of those guys in long relief would be the biggest misuse.
Is that bad too?
That'd be like, that's basically going like, we're losing this game 7-0. I need my long reliever to go in because my starter shit the bed. Do I want Michael Kopech eating those innings? That sounds awful to me.
Okay, well, I'm just saying, how are we going to get them? How do you transition out of a bullpen into a starting role?
You have to send them back to the minors. And
then make them just pitch there?
That's what sucks. That's what, like, that's my problem with it is like, you never, like, whenever you see that, when they're like, we got to stretch this guy out. Like, It's not like they just don't pitch him for a little while and he's just throwing longer and longer bullpen sessions and he's still on the roster. They send him to the minors to stretch out. And he comes back up. And so you're talking like, what is it? You have to stay in the minors like 10 days? Something like that. I think
but if you're if the goal of it's stretching out, it'll be longer than that.
15, 20 days down there. Yeah. Like that's a long time. And then like, what are you doing in that time? You're doing Lopez, Stever, Lambert. Like, no, I'm not comfortable with what that looks like.
You shouldn't be. You shouldn't be comfortable with it. They did not sign. They should have got another starting pitcher, but they didn't. So this is like what we're going to have to deal with, right? Like you're going to have to, you're got to hope to high hell that Carlos Rodon stays healthy for long enough for either Crochet or Kopech to come back from the minors after their stretched out session down there and like be able to fucking pitch starting backs.
I don't think that's even the vision. I think the vision is just them being in relief the whole year.
I can't see that. I don't know why you would do that to a Michael Kopech. I don't know why you would do that.
You know, to talk on my Sox points, another way to do it, Treasy, would be to slowly stretch them out in their bullpen stints, right? So if you had a plan of, all right, Kopech, when he gets used, he's going to get used for 20 pitches, then 25, then 30, then 35 and 40. Eventually you could stretch him out, but you'd have to plan the usage in a way where you'd have to be very progressive with how you use kind of the entire thing. And it wouldn't be just like, we really need a guy in this inning, go get 3 outs here. It would have to be something that they really planned out.
Yeah, you'd need to either use them as an opener, right? And say like you get an inning to start for the season, right? And then like you put them in front of Rodon, right? And then you do an inning, and then you do 2 innings, and then maybe you get them up to, go as far as you can through the first order, or the first time through the order, and then maybe up to like 3 innings, and then you can get them to that. Do you think they're going to do that? I don't think, like, none of that feels like what they're going to do. To me, it seems like they're going to be like, okay, these are 2 high leverage guys for us, and we're going to use them as such.
Even if you worry about Carlos Rodon, remember how Carlos Rodon was very upset that he wasn't a starter or whatever. All you really need is one injury to change that, where you could say, okay, Kopech is the opener now on this day all the time. And then random person we bring up from the minors, Bernardo Flores, or I don't mean to talk ill of those guys.
Man,
just random fellow we
bring
up
you
is going to back that person up, right? They're going to come behind him, and then you have a plan for Kopech going forward. And someone's going to get hurt. Someone's going to go get down for a month or 6 weeks, and you could slide him into that spot. I think the way I was looking at it, Treasy, is like, it looks like Rick Hahn's making a roster for if it's July 31st and we're about to, like, we're a shoe-in. We're at 95% to make the playoffs, and he's loading up that bullpen with all the high leverage arms. Because if you were heading into a playoff series, you'd want your bullpen to look like that, right? Because you a lot of times in a playoff series, you can't take the leverage, so you'll pull a starter early, and you got to lean on that bullpen real hard. And that's kind of what's looking like. You don't generally want to start the year like that. Or like those are your marching orders starting in April. You got to make 4 months to get to the end of July where you think you might, add something or change the roster a bit. So maybe the plan is ease Kopech in, and then when an opportunity arises, he slides into that starting role, and they build him up slowly but surely with short starts, 2, 3 inning, 4 inning starts eventually, and then. And that way you maximize all of his innings in the majors, which I like that part of it. Like, I don't want to use innings in Charlotte. I don't give a fuck about Charlotte. Let's use them here.
I get that point. Yeah. I just it's hard for me to see, and maybe it's just my bias because the Sox haven't been progressive in how they use players to see them doing that smooth transition into that. And honestly, I don't even want to see them try that with Crochet. Like, I feel like if you do anything out of the ordinary with Crochet, he's gonna just fall apart like like he's made of porcelain. So I don't want to even see them try and do that. But the other thing to me that's weird about this is just that, like, you have these 2 guys, right, who could be, in theory. I'm not saying that they're going to be. In theory, these guys, you drafted them like drafted Crochet like a top line starter, and you traded for Kopech like a top line starter, and you are terrible at developing those types of players. You're very good at developing bullpen guys. Like, they've been able to do that. That's not a problem. They can't develop starters. You bring in a guy who's supposed to be, this pitcher whisperer, right? And then you go, we're going to move your 2 best prospects to the bullpen. All right. Just, they're over there. Don't worry about it. They're over there. They're just going to throw real hard. It's going to be great. Fix all this shit. Like, I feel like that was just like, it's strange to me all around, and I'm probably missing something very obvious, but to me, it just seems very weird. It seems like that's not what you would do in this situation.
Do you think that Ethan Katz is not on board with this? I would think that is he getting his first like taste of medicine, like Rick Hahn probably got 20 years ago when he walked in? They're like, no, you can't do that. We're gonna have to do this. Like, these guys are gonna come out of the pen. I don't know why anybody above him should be making any type of decisions on where these guys are at. I feel like he is making this decision.
They're gonna make the roster decisions. He's gonna deal with them.
Yeah,
like, I mean,
exactly.
Like, he's not.
But they're coming out of the bullpen, though. He's still on the roster, so he can put them where he wants to put them, right?
I don't know. I mean, like, if they decide they want to use a guy as an opener, I don't think that's
who's they. Is this Rick? Are we talking Rick? We talking Tony? Who are we talking?
Yeah, I
think
mean,
Rick and then Tony.
Rick and
Okay.
Tony or Tony and Rick. I don't know what order. Who cares? But it's not Ethan Katz. He ain't deciding.
You don't think he's
Here's
deciding
here's
this?
what Ethan Katz's job is. You manage the pitchers and you tell us who's healthy and who's not. But then Tony's going to use them exactly how he wants to use them.
Okay.
Or Rick is going to say, here's the plan for Michael Kopech because we want to keep him healthy and you want to utilize him. I look at it like this, Treasy, and I see all your points about development. I look at it as they're just saying, look, we're in a competitive window. Let's just get our best 26 fucking guys here, and we're going to use them. And Tony, if you're as good as you say you are, as Jerry says you're as good as you are, if you're a Hall of Fame manager, you figure out the best fucking way to use these guys and get us 95 wins, and we're going to playoffs. Like, I look at it like that, kind of like, forget development plans, forget all this shit. The here and now. Like, I said on a podcast before, I didn't mind the idea of Crochet going to the bullpen, and truth be told, his highest and best use probably was trading him in the offseason. Trading him for a badass in right field would have been probably the best way to use that guy, right? Instead of using him for 15 pitches 3 times a week this season, you could have traded maybe for a badass right fielder and a team that believes he's a starting pitcher. I think it's just use your best resources, right?
Beef, let me ask you this question then. Dallas Keuchel, 2 weeks into the season, that back gives out. What is it? Just Austin Jackson's hurt. Fuck the season. Is that where we're at?
No. Their offense is too good for that. The offense is too good for that. Like, they can tread water for a while. There's a couple guys they lose. They lose Giolito for a couple months. They're done. If they lose Grandal, they're done. But
I didn't say Giolito just because I can't put the words out of my mouth.
I'll cry.
I don't say any of that shit.
I will cry. I'll be honest with you. No, I don't think so. I think they have enough depth to cover some short-term stuff. If they lose one of the main 3 pitchers for like a long period, that's going to be a problem in getting to the playoffs. Like, I don't think they're easily a playoff team right now if you have a big injury. I think they will need some help or some luck or whatever. In the comments, Alex Rude wants to know if we think the reason why they're doing this with Kopech now is because apparently AAA is going to be starting later.
Maybe, but like even then, right? Like the problem with Kopech is more that he hasn't pitched at all, right? And so like you can get him, at the alternate site, you could have him throwing to our guys, and just getting that experience back and getting the rust off. Like, I think you could still do that. And it is like, it's not AAA for sure. But if you really wanted to try and get him going as a pitcher, and then when someone gets hurt or someone sucks, then you bring him up, then I think you could go that route. I don't think that hampers that plan. It's just not the plan. That's just like Beef. I'm with you. I think they're putting as much into the majors as they can to just say this is the best team we have and we're going to go with it. I think it's a little short-sighted in terms of like what you actually need for a season from starting pitching.
I mean,
I don't disagree at all. And you guys are right from a development standpoint. Like, does this possibly hurt the 2022 or 2023 versions of the White Sox? Maybe, because you didn't give these guys a chance to become the starting pitchers they could quick enough, right? Because maybe this year they don't end up becoming those guys yet. And even if they use Kopech in a more expanded role, like My Sox Summer thinks they probably will, and I kind of agree with him, it's not going to be 7 innings, right? It's going to be a starter. Like, even when you ramp him up, by the end, it's going to be like a 5-inning starter. It's not going to be like the guy that throws a complete game.
So, and to be honest, I don't hate the Crochet thing. Like, because I have no idea what Crochet is.
Right, we don't know yet.
Like, he's pitched what, like 12 innings since high school. Like, I have no idea what he's supposed to be. So like I'm fine with that, but the Kopech thing is perplexing to me. And Alex makes a good point of like, without real competition, do you want to like it would be weird saying like, well, we got Kopech at the alternate site. Like I get that, but at the same time, it's like you got him at the alternate site maybe to get the rust off, and then whoever's not performing get replaced by Kopech. I got no problem with that, but that ain't the way it's going.
I think the smartest thing that Alex said in that chat was, we'll have them both start the 7-inning doubleheaders, and I'm
Oh,
100%
man.
on board with that.
I
I
love
mean,
that'd
that.
be fun.
that's major rager. My sock summer right there. Like, listen,
Because-
hey, we're going on a Saturday for a doubleheader. We're drunk as fuck, and it's 2 7s, and we're not even like, we got a half hour in between, and then we don't have to worry about last calls because last call's in the 7th. And my God, we are going to be lit up like motherfuckers. So, and we're going to see some fire.
Can I say
Fire.
one thing about Giolito Crochet before we move off this point?
You sure
I saw that he's growing a beard in.
Ooh.
And I can't have that. I'm sorry, guys. I need him to go back to the mustache because Giolito Crochet, mustache only, looks so much like John Holmes. And we need a guy on the White Sox that looks exactly like John Holmes, right? And the guy's 6'7" too. So you can just imagine what he's got swinging down there, man. I'm not saying, I'm just saying we need that mystique on this roster, okay? If we're going to be like, I see the comparisons of like, oh, this team has personality or whatever. And they try to compare them to 85 Bears. They ain't 85 Bears yet, unless they got a John Holmes looking motherfucker on the team. Then they can be like the 85 Bears. Okay. That's it. I'm sorry.
The 2021 Sox are like the 85 Bears.
Personality wise, like the personalities and shit.
Okay.
They're not there yet, but I've seen the comparison.
That's fucking horrible.
Oh
comparison.
boy. Now
Seems
I'm really,
awful.
my eyes are going to be drawn to the wrong place when I see Crochet pitching now.
Oh no, they're going to be drawn to the right place.
Oh boy. All right.
Hold on. From the chat, Beer Garden Jim doesn't know who John Holmes is. Jim, you would know him as Matt Ramsey. So look him up. That's
No.
Wrong
Wrong guy,
wrong
man.
guy.
I know. So funny. I know. He did have a gay character too. What was his gay character? I don't know.
I have
But
no
I think he
idea.
did.
But how do you
He
not
did
know
do
who
gay
John
porn.
Holmes is?
I know. He's got to. I mean,
Well, I guess,
hey, it's a lot
Maybe
of,
don't spend a lot of time
maybe
on the
you don't
internet.
know.
All
Maybe
right.
you don't know.
So speaking of pitchers, and we just talked about this
And
guy.
catchers.
We got the Giolito extension talks have been or non-extension talks have been going on around, and so I wanted to get your guys' thoughts on this. I feel like my Sox summer, you got some thoughts on the Giolito extension?
Yes.
Or
and
non-extension?
And this is no extends for Giolito. Initially this was brought to my attention because our guy King Nam, and a lot of people just look at him and they're like, this guy, he's just a hot dog guy. Like that's all he does. He just shovels wieners in his mouth. That's not true. He actually knows baseball and he follows a lot of stuff on the Twitters and then reports them into a group chat that we have. And then sometimes I might take exception to something that was said or done. And then like, I like that he brings that to me and he also points it out for everybody. So that motherfucker's paying attention. He's not just, eating hot dogs. So he put up our guy, James Fox, put up a thing and said, I would not be surprised if Gio's not with the club in 2024. And literally 2 weeks before that, he said, you're going to see an extension to Giolito. Like it's going to happen. And so,
Right.
So King is just like, obviously, I mean, this is what you should do to people on Twitter. Be like, what the fuck changed in the last 2 weeks to make you think this? And he said, and to James's credit, he thought it's going to cost a lot more than he thought it was going to 2 weeks before. Okay, maybe, I guess. I don't know. I mean, whatever. I'll give him that. I'm not gonna bust his balls on like making shit up. Like, I mean, that's just what it is. So he says, he does this. So now I start thinking in my head, I'm like, yeah, this is bullshit. Why don't we have an extension for Giolito? Well, not thinking he's here till 2024 anyway. So do we need him post 2024? So I bring this to you guys. I say something about like, man, I don't know if we're even going to need him in 2024 because like we could have already won the World Series. We could have done whatever. We could have already hit the goal. And then like, who are we going to be losing? Low pipes up. Guess what, guys? I wrote a blog about this and I was like, that's awesome. I go, I don't remember it because you write 6 fucking blogs a week and I can't even read them all. So he sends me the link. I'm going to read the whole thing. I'm going to read this little thing. And actually, sometimes I do scan Loaf's things if I'm feeling generous. I don't necessarily read them, but I definitely scan them. I know. I just look
Thanks for
over
reading them, My Sox Summer.
I'm glad everybody else
Thanks
reads
for scanning them. I'm sorry, not reading.
I
I
scanned them.
took time out of my busy day searching for Punky
Scan.
Brewster porn
Listen,
to scan your
you guys,
article.
You guys
wrote
were
for
way
the blog.
you guys hammered the over on that. That was an easy 10 minutes. Like it wasn't even like I could have taken a shit and found out all the information I had.
Yeah,
so
I'm sure
Lo
I'm
put
sure
together
your
this
shits
little
take only
shut the
10
fuck
minutes,
up.
too.
Shut up. Lo put together this nice little chart. Now, our core, because he's talking about core, this is what we have through 2024, like through 2023. Let's just do that. We got Grandal, we got Magical, we got TA7, we got Mancada, we got Eloy, and we got Robert. We got Giolito, Keuchel, Bummer, and Hua. Now, for the unknowns, which we can cross one guy off the list, we have Vaughn, who, I mean, guy looked good in his first game.
I mean, he's going to be a
that
known
guy.
very quick. When I wrote this way back when,
this
it was
is
like,
from
we
October,
don't know when he's going to come.
like
in.
October 6th. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dunning, gone. See ya. Cease, Kopech, Crochet, and Lopez. So we have those guys. Now, you move into the next year in 2024, you lose Grandal. You lose potentially Giolito, Keuchel, Evan Marshall. He's gone. And then you're also going to lose Lopez. I mean, those are big hits. But the whole point is it's like I don't know, like, and then also the total not even on here. We don't have any good right fielders or DHs signed for 2021, 22, 23, or 24, or 25. So you already have 2 slots missing. So like,
because you have Vaughn still, but Vaughn has to go over to first because you don't have Abreu no more. Abreu's last year of contract right now is 2022.
And you're gonna see who pops up. I mean, potentially, you know, a Collins could be, you know, in there in the mix. You could shut up. Don't make that face. You could also, I mean, hey, if we're getting nuts, we could have Berger up there too. Who knows? The guy's skinny, best shape of his life. He could be totally on this roster in 2024. But pitching wise, I mean, if he's gonna command a ton of shit or a ton of money, and we're not gonna have it. And we're probably not going to be in a real big competitive window. I don't know. I mean, it's possible, but I don't know. Do you want to, like, the only reason to sign the extension, I think, would have been, and I know this is what the Sox are thinking, is you could have got a nice team friendly deal, and you could have had him over a bunch of years, so that when he finds his next home, like a Chris Sale did, he'll be in a nice little deal. It'll be a good little sweet package, you know, to pick up another 2-3, you know, young guys, you know, to bring in to see what we can do. So I don't know. I initially
are
thought, like,
are you talking about the next My Sox Summer? Are you talking about the next rebuild? The one where we trade Luis Robert? Is that the one you're talking about?
I mean, when his contract runs out and we can't afford him no more, like we would not have been able to afford Fernando Tatis Jr. Yes, that's exactly where we'll be. So he'll go to the Angels to DH for the rest of his career, and then we'll find out years later that he's actually 4 years older than he actually was. So, yeah.
I mean,
it's a lot to unpack. I understand.
So to me, like my question is, like, if you're Giolito, what's the benefit of signing an extension?
Nothing.
There doesn't seem to be a lot of benefit. The
only advantage is to get some extra money sooner rather than later. There's a time value of money advantage to getting some of that money pushed up further. But oftentimes, in order to do that, you got to give a discount in total,
right.
Which why would you want to do that part of it? Right. So I get it. Like, if you're trying to arbitrage the stock market or some bullshit and you want to get more money, now I get it. Not saying he would want to do that or that there's even advantage there, but I'm just saying, yeah, I agree with you, Treasy. Like, why? Just wait until you can get your market value.
Yeah, and he's not a guy who's just like you know, straight out of like high school, and like this is the biggest money ever to him. Like his family did well, right? Like, so he's not like a guy who's like broke or a guy who needs to support like his entire family or something like that, right? It's a different situation. And when you're in that situation, like, I don't see a reason why you give that long-term discount, especially when, you know, like, I'm looking at points bet. This dude's one of the favorites to win the Cy Young. Like,
that's exactly right.
Like, when you get to that point, like, you look at the guys that signed this year. Like, you know, Corey Kluber signed a contract, you know, like guys that never even panned out really, like Taijuan Walker was just kind of average. He was supposed to be this star. Carlos Rodon is still here. Like, Giolito's his career so far, he'll be signed until he's 40. Like,
Right.
There's not like a lack of security anywhere that you would be like, wow, this guy should sign an extension. Like it's just not there. I don't see why he should. Like, I'd love it if he did. Hey, give us that discount. I would appreciate it. I'd be like, yes, I'd love to see this guy forever on the South Side. But why? Why for him? Why would he do that? To me, it doesn't make sense why he would want to do that.
Yeah, it's easy. I mean, he's had TJ already. So that's kind of a plus as far as like, well, you don't have that hanging out there. Now, it doesn't mean you can't have to get TJ twice, but if you do, that's kind of a little bigger deal and not a stunt your growth, kind of like suppress your salary. Also, when you look at the extensions the Sox did, and I did some calculations on them, I wrote some blogs about Moncada and Eloy and whoever else, Robert and all this stuff. The Sox got discounted prices, but based on the marketplace, it didn't look like they were discounted that much as far as like time value money situation. Like, we're talking 15% discount total, right?
Right.
I don't think they're in position to give Giolito that big of a deal right now. Here's the peers of big contracts that are out there. Let me give you guys just the top 5 pitcher contracts currently, starting pitcher contracts. Garrett Cole is on a 9-year, $324 million deal. That's a $36 million per year AAV, okay? Steven Strasburg is on a 7-year, $245 million deal. That's $35 million a year. David Price, $217 million over 7 years. That's $31 mil. Max Scherzer in his last year of this contract, 7 years, $210 million. That's $30 million per year. And then Zach Greinke, a 6-year, $206.5 million deal. That's $34 million a year. I don't think the White Sox, even at a 15% discount, are ready to give Lucas Giolito, let's just say 8 years at $28 or $29 million a year, or $30 million a year. I would be shocked. I would shit my pants if they did that. And so that's where it's different territory than giving Robert or Moncada an extension. This is way different money. Like, and I hope eventually they do make good on this and Giolito stays. But if I'm him, why? I'm sure they are not offering him that kind of deal right now as an extension.
Right. They're not coming to him and saying like 8 years, 200.
No.
They're just not.
No.
And I get from the Sox side too. Like, like, do you want to invest that much? Maybe they don't. I get it. But at the same time, like, I would not expect Giolito to be like, oh yeah, 8 years, 100 million. I'm going to do that.
Whatever you guys think's fair, just let me know. I'll sign right here. Don't worry about it. I'll let you fill in the details on the check.
I mean, especially he looks at what Trevor Bauer just did.
No, God.
He's got to be like, I'll go 1 year deals. I mean, what is Bauer 3? It's technically 3 years, but it's really like 2 and 85, right?
Yeah, that's right. And to think that Giolito's not in the ballpark with Bauer is nuts. He's as good a pitcher as Trevor Bauer. Is probably a better pitcher than Trevor Bauer
and less of a maniac.
I'd be more likely to buy Giolito's future than Bauer's future. I mean, no offense to Trevor Bauer, he's a good pitcher too, but like I'd be more willing. And the thing is too, Treasy, what's interesting about the White Sox reticence, because they've been burned in the past with the starting pitchers. So the weird thing is, though, if you look at the top 10 starting pitcher contracts that are out there, in general, these are great buys. So I mentioned the first 5. Number 6 is Chris Sale's contract that he's currently on. Okay, he got hurt for a year, but they won a World Series, and he's been terrific. Patrick Corbin has been very good, except for last year in the shortened year. Jacob deGrom, terrific. Johnny Cueto, here's the clunker out of the group, right? And then the 10th highest pitching contract is Yu Darvish. All these guys have basically been good. You've had a year of a couple of these guys where they got hurt, or Darvish had that one down year, whatever. But as a total investment, these investments are good for these high-end starting pitchers.
And Beef, to my earlier point, though, right? Like Johnny Cueto, he's definitely overpaid. But if you think about it, me and you have been like, just fucking go and trade for that guy and get him for nothing. Just pay the money, you get Johnny Cueto. And like, yeah, I mean, that's the kind of thing here. Like, if you show at least some competence and you had some pedigree, like, you will get paid forever. I was writing about bringing back Shark on a minor league deal. Like that guy's 127 years old, and he's been paid constantly throughout his career.
Yes, he has.
And it's been volatile, right? Like, so, if you're scrap what Giolito's looking at, what Giolito's agent is looking at is all of this and going like, why would we take this? Like, why would we give you a discount? Like, we should be getting top dollar. And, if you want him to be the franchise pitcher, you got to pay franchise pitcher money.
9-figure losses, Chirizi. That's why you should do it. 9-figure losses.
Well, truth be told, he's a great investment, not only as a pitcher, but he's a great investment as like the White Sox are happy to reinvest in players that are kind of generational with the club, right? That are very popular and bring people out there with the club. They were willing to re-up with Paul Konerko, even way too much to the point where he was dead basically on the field for a while. But people love Paul
nice
Konerko,
at all.
right?
Beef. We could have got Brandon Wood. We could have got Brandon Wood.
I mean, they were willing to go to re-ink Burley, right? And keep him here kind of long term as a pitcher. I mean, eventually he moved on, but they kept him beyond that. Like if someone has the staying power, they're willing to invest usually.
So Beef, that's one thing that I was thinking about the other day, because I think a lot of people point to the contracts that the Sox have signed, right? And gone like, oh, well, they fucked it up with this starting pitcher.
Thanks.
And that's left a bad taste in their mouth.
Right.
But Danks is one of those, right?
Yeah.
And here's why I think that's a little bit different, because your choice was really, are we going to extend Danks and give him some money, or are we going to keep Burley around?
Right.
And they made the wrong choice.
They did.
Right. But that doesn't mean you don't pay for the pitcher. It means you pay for the right pitcher.
Right.
It wasn't like they just had no chance at Burley and then they were like, okay, well, we got to buy the next highest guy, and that happened to be Danks. No, they chose Danks over Burley.
They bet the wrong guy.
And you could see that, there's a possibility for that in the future to say like, oh, we don't want to pay Giolito this type of money. We have Garrett Crochet, so why not pay him?
Now looks like John Holmes, all right?
Yeah, I mean,
Ronaldo Lopez is coming around
strong. So, but really, like, I'm using Garrett Crochet for comic effect, but really, if he has like some strong seasons and he's a starter by the time Giolito's leaving, and you're like, oh, this guy's top of rotation guy, and Kopech's been good, and okay, we're gonna see what happens here. We're gonna let Giolito go and get that kind of money, but we got guys we believe in, and we'll pay them a little bit. Very different.
I'm glad you made that distinction, because that was something that I was going to bring up too. Is like, you can't look at historically things, historically what you've done and how it's worked out. Because you just said, they made the wrong decision. They had another option and they made the wrong thing. That's like going up to the hottest chick in the bar and her coming in, you going up to her and saying, hey, would you like to go home with me? And she's like, no. And you're like, well, okay, well, I tried, guys. All right. I guess I'm never going up to another girl again, because I went up to the hottest girl here and she said no, and maybe if you would have waited till it was like 12 o'clock and maybe went up to like her friend, maybe she was a little bit drinking a little bit more or something, and then said, hey, what's going on? You want to go get some breakfast? Maybe you'd be in a different position, And I guess Mark Burley was our breakfast guy. We should have went with the breakfast guy. But no, we tried to rush it.
Drunk.
That's the moral of the story right here. Get him hammered and get him signed. All right.
But I just think it's goofy. It's goofy to bring that up and say, oh, well, this is why we can't do it. Or historically, this is what's happened. So, because that's assuming that you've made good decisions. And that's not the case. As we can tell, they're still making some bad decisions. There's some questionable decisions, when you have a right fielder named Adam Eaton. So, I mean, it's just like, that's your solution. So I don't know. I don't necessarily think we need a Giolito, but I also do. Well,
I do think we need two. And here's why. I'll blow up the spot, because Teresi was talking about how they might say, oh, we like this guy. I don't think that's what you believe you would like to happen. I think you're saying that's what the Sox might sort of say, oh, well, we kind of have these guys coming up or whatever.
I don't believe.
Yeah,
I don't want that to happen.
I don't think you believe that, and
No.
I don't think My Sox Summer necessarily believes that either. They do need this guy, right? They this is like, if you're going to tie your thing to one guy, it's that guy, right? That's the guy that drags your ass up, and you are always a pretty good team if you've got that guy right there, right?
Well,
I know you love Yoan, and I love Tim, and Luis Robert might become a monster, but if you always have Lucas Giolito, you know, you're always probably going to have a pretty good team. This team will probably not bottom out if you have that team. If they went tomorrow and said, and signed Lucas, and they gave him 8 years, $240 million, do you think anyone would ever again pipe up about, you know, oh, we're not signing the big free agents we need or whatever? No, because they would have their fan favorite there, and the guy would be locked in for a long time. And I think they know the value in that. But I think that it's, you know, they got the tight, you know, the pockets. They don't want to pay for it. They don't want to get their hand out. They got the alligator arms at the big dinner, right? They don't want to get the hand all the way in there to pay this, you know.
You know what though? Like, they're gonna sign him if they do sign him, and they put up the numbers and they put up that big contract or whatever. The fans are gonna say he wasn't fucking worth it, just like they did Jose Abreu, because he's gonna come out, you know, or whatever, and maybe he won't have a stellar performance like Jose did last year. But like it's gonna be like they'll bitch about it. There will be a bitch because if there's anything Sox fans do, they
here's
move
the thing.
goalposts.
Here's the thing, My Sox.
Not good Sox fans.
You know who those fans are?
Not the people in the chat.
Those fans that would do that shit, they're the ones getting us called lightweights, man. Those fuckers.
My 6th game of the year. Yeah.
All right, My Sox Summer. Why don't you pay some bills?
I hope you guys are ready, because the tourney's coming.
I jumped the gun, didn't I?
Yeah, you did. But I was like, I'm just gonna go with it.
Do it anyway. Pay it.
All right, cool. Thanks for interrupting me, dick. I was in my flow. I didn't even write anything down. I had a good thing going. Are you guys ready for the tourney? I hope so, because it's coming up soon. I got sweatshirts, I got t-shirts, I got stickers, I got everything you need to support your friends or family or maybe your enemies in the 108 tournament. We just got picked up by Buffalo Wings and Rings is sponsoring us again this year. So you need to have your 108 gear. I got shirts again. I don't have any hats, okay? I'm working on that. We're going to get some hats. You guys bought all the hats we had. We're going to get some new hats. We're going to get all sorts of different shit, but you got to get ready for that. Also, if you're going to pay attention to the other tournament that's in March, we have Big Ten colors. We know Iowa's going to be dancing. We know Michigan's dancing. We know Illinois is dancing. I got all those 108 shirts. They're all about $11. Okay. These guys have lowered the prices on them like to basically pennies over the dollar that we spent on these goddamn shirts. Okay. So take fucking advantage, buy those shirts. We got new shit in the works. We're going to have some new stuff coming out hopefully soon. I don't know. I'm getting lazy. Sometimes I'm getting high. So we'll see what happens, but check out our website. Go do it like I do. I go to FromThe108.com, go right, click on the banner ad on the right, go right to the merch shop and see how much shit's left. And then, yeah, go buy some
it all.
Yep.
Buy it all. And speaking of being high as fuck, I obviously am, because I totally skipped over a section. And it's because I have no notes on this section, because this is the AL Central or the White Sox preview. Sorry, the White Sox preview. We'll get to the AL Central.
Treasy's all over the place right now. Treasy, I'm only upset at you for missing this, because I usually pee during My Sox Summer's read there in the kind of the last section. Now I'm just gonna have to hold it in, or I will have to piss in this jar, and you guys will have to not notice.
That's true.
I'll do another point spot ad read.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, so Beef, we're gonna do the White Sox preview, and now we're gonna do outfielders and DH. We did infielders last time.
Yes.
Do outfielders and DH this time. And as I said, I have no notes, because all we're gonna get here is a multiple choice from Beef Loaf, and we're gonna go through a few players. So Beef, why don't you kick it off and get us going?
Maybe that's right. You don't need notes for this, because the way we like to preview players, and I'm going to skip the big preamble from last week, is we like to do it different than the other podcasts, because, we're not as smart as the other podcasts. So we're going to do comparisons, multiple choice questions, and I'm going to have the boys decide what kind of season we think we're going to get out of each of these players. So this week, we're going to do outfielders, of which I'm going to group Lurie Garcia in here with this group, because I know he's going to be on the roster. And we're going to do DH, so Andrew Vaughn's going to be in with this group as well. I needed to make it kind of even position player-wise. So we're going to start out with our outfielders. with a guy who's returning to the roster, a guy who arrived with much fanfare, not necessarily all positive.
Not good.
He was terrific last time he was here, and his name is Adam Eaton. And we're going to call this section of multiple choice Bounce Back Specials. Adam Eaton's 2021 season is going to be most like A, William Zabka as Johnny Lawrence on the new Netflix hit show Cobra Kai. B, Jack Horner, who was played by Burt Reynolds in the 1997 seminal film Boogie Nights. Or C, Kelsey Grammer's big TV comeback in the 2009 ABC show Hank, which aired only 5 episodes, and allegedly it was so unfunny that Grammer admitted to Jay Leno that he personally called Warner Brothers and asked them to halt production.
Who's going first?
I'm gonna go with I'd
love for
B.
My Sock Summer to go first.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Jack Horner because, and here's why. Because fans are gonna be, I feel like fans are gonna be like kind of like judging him really harshly, and I think that's how like Jack kind of went out. Like he was like, fuck it, yeah, put it in her ass. I don't care. You know, it's got video. You know, where you're like, oh man, don't waste the film. But Jack, it's on videotape. Who cares? You know, you're like, it's Adam Eaton. Who cares? Yeah, he got another hit. Great. Okay, cool. Yeah, okay, whatever. So I'm gonna go with that. It's just gonna be kind of a meh. It's like a meh comeback, you know, ish thing. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna go with.
I'm going Zabka. And here's
Zabka's
why.
Dominating, man.
Here's why. Here's the reason why.
Okay.
Eaton's always been better than what people have given him credit for. Yep. Mostly because he's pure asshole. I mean, yes. To me, he's the opposite of Sammy Hagar. He's the polar opposite of Sammy Hagar. I don't want to listen to anything Sammy Hagar does, but I want to hang out with the dude. And the exact opposite for Eaton. I never want to talk to and I never want to meet Adam Eaton. Like if someone was like, you know, Eaton wants to do an interview with the 108, I'll be like, that's a beef in My Sock Summer day. I'm gonna be somewhere else.
We'd interview him, right? My Sock Summer.
But
fuck yeah.
Talk to him.
But
that's stupid talk coming out of Jersey right now.
I want to see him. I want to see him play. I want to see the guy play. I think he was really good when he was here.
Yeah,
he's been really good for other teams. Yeah, he's been hurt, on and off. But he doesn't have like injuries that like I'm terribly worried about. Like I think he'll be on the field for a good portion of the season, a good 50-60 games.
How dare you?
but really, like I think like like the assholeness of Adam Eaton overshadows a lot of the production that he actually gives. And so he's very much like Billy Zabka. And so that's to me a perfect analogy. Good job for even putting that in the multiple choice.
Good. Thank you. I appreciate that. I gave you two a chance to go to negative town, and neither of you did it. Both of you were like, he's probably gonna be okay. He'd be fine. I like that. I like your perspective.
I just love that we got to learn that about that. A show I'd never heard of. I'm glad we got to learn that about Kelsey Grammer just like phoning it. That's truly phoning it in. That's truly phoning it in because you're just going like, I was gonna act, but I cancel it.
Don't pay me anymore. This is terrible.
I don't want to be paid anymore. It's so bad. Don't pay me. I want to go home.
By the way, I moved on to the Little Risk from Goose Island. Solid stout. Unfortunately, after I drank the Smells Like Bean Spirit, my taste buds are roached. So I have to taste one of these the next day because like I have been to the mountaintop with the other one. So I'm not going to do this any good favors right now. If you like stouts, it's a good stout. So yeah, it's good.
Your taste buds are roached?
Yeah, they're roached out. Like,
never
so
heard
like
that
if you get like a really good, so you taste something really good.
How were the waves today?
It's like too much, and it's like, and then the next thing is like underwhelming because of it, right?
Yeah, because it would be like okay, so you like got like the best pizza you've ever had in your life. Like you just ate this pizza, and then like somebody like throws a Jack's at you, and it's like here's some more pizza, and you're like, oh, okay, great. But like sometimes like you're fucking starving and you're really hungry, and somebody throws a Jack's at you, like, this is fucking delicious. Like this is this is exactly what I needed. So yeah.
I feel you. I feel that, baby. All right, so let's move on to everyone's favorite Luis Robert, and we're going to call this category Superstar Potential. Will Luis Robert's 2021 White Sox season be like A, the 1992 Reebok ad campaign for Dan and Dave, which featured Dan O'Brien and Dave Johnson, who were Olympic decathletes? For what it's worth, Dan O'Brien failed to qualify for the Olympics.
He didn't even qualify.
Or is it going to be like B, the career of 1970s high school phenom known as Chocolate Thunder, Mr. Daryl Dawkins, whose widow is not a fan of the beef loaf?
Nope.
Or C, the entertainment career of Chicagoan Common?
Oh man, I mean this is easy.
Seems like it should be the easiest.
Teresa, you go first.
It's Common.
It's Common.
I mean it's because I feel like Common probably has similar abs, though I've not seen him.
Allegedly.
But really, the reason I like the Common comparison is because Common can do everything.
Right.
He's just like anything you throw at him, he's awesome in it. Like, I'm pretty sure he's a hitman in John Wick. He's just incredible in every facet of everything.
Yeah.
And
he's just a great artist. He's a great artist in general. Yeah.
And like I love watching or listening to the dude. I'm just always like if you tell me that there's Common that's going to be in the movie or there's a new Common track out, I'm going to tune in. And that's how I am with Luis Robert. I want to see him do fucking anything. If those Domino's pizzas that he supposedly eats every day, if they were like, we're gonna film him crushing a Domino's pizza, I would watch that shit. Even if it took 67 minutes for him to do it. I would sit there the whole time watching on YouTube, just glazed over, just amazed that I'm watching.
Oh wow! My
eyes glazed over, not.
Oh, got it.
You got the wrong glazing going. Sure, I know where your mind went.
Sure.
Yeah, that's a little unnecessary. I'm gonna do the same thing with Common. I think it's a good comparison, especially the city of Chicago. He's gonna be your boy. He's gonna be your guy. We're gonna watch this guy just like skyrocket, right? Just like all these card prices. So he's just he's magnificent. I think it's going to be good. Now, I was tempted to say he might have a slow start to 2021, but I don't know. I think this man is just going to go out and just destroy. He's just going to destroy. So I think he's a legit thing. He's a legit person, a legit player, and I got to go with my same with Common.
Yeah, I love Luis Robert. I don't give a fuck what White Sox Sal says.
Yeah.
Next player we're going with is Eloy Jimenez, and we'll call this category Animated Heroes. Okay, and I'm going to have my Sox Summer start.
Okay.
Here are your choices.
Can I guess one of them before you even go?
Go for it. Yeah.
Are you going to say Captain Caveman?
I am not.
Okay. I was gonna go. Just a huge bat, just like I was feeling it. All right.
I mean, that's probably was a good call. Maybe next time I let you write these, and then I'll jump in.
Not. I don't want to try and do this.
Okay.
Make him write them, and then you can skip it.
No, then I can go right past it in the show. It's like I was looking around, like, damn, I spent a lot of time on these. It is. Eloy Jimenez's 2021 season is going to be like A, Roger Rabbit from the 1998 featured film Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Mm-hmm. B, Buzz Lightyear from the Toys movies. Not even a trilogy. I think there's 4 of them now.
Toy Story?
Yeah, it's 4.
Yeah, Toy Story. Yes, Toy Story. Sorry.
Nope.
And or C, Mater from the Cars movies.
I've never seen Mater. I've never seen Cars, so I can't. That one's eliminated from the get-go. What did you say the first one was? Roger Rabbit? Yeah, fuck that dude. Buzz Lightyear. Yeah, he's Buzz Lightyear all the way. Yep. And because he's solid, and I think what's going to happen for Eloy this year is he's not going to be as flashy as Luis. Like I think he is going to just be consistent and become that grind player, like a Jose. He's gonna be a young Jose Abreu out there. And he's gonna be producing, and that's where I see him going. I don't see him being like crazy flashy. I see him be settling into a good role, just fucking produce.
Now, Treasy, before you go, I think I threw my sock summer off his game because I went to him first and there was no pornography in there. I thought with the cartoons, it's going to be right up his alley, but
there kind of is, and I'll get there.
Okay.
So here's the problem for me is that I've not seen I've not seen any of the Toy Story movies.
What?
And I think I saw one of the Cars movies, but I don't remember who Maynard is. I assume he's the lead singer of the Tool.
He's a tow
cover band in there.
How dare you?
But it was going to be Roger Rabbit anyway. Roger Rabbit is perfect for this, and I'll tell you why. Because Eloy's goofy. He's a goofy dude.
Yes.
And you're like, this fucking goofball, and he's falling in the fucking net, and what the fuck is this guy? But you know what he is? He's the most important motherfucker in Toontown. All right?
Yes.
And without him, the whole fucking place is just decimated. So just, that however this season goes is going to be however Eloy's season is. If that motherfucker hits 50 home runs, we are in the playoffs, and we're making a run because he's going to be unstoppable. And people are going to have to try and pitch around him. And you try and pitch around him in a lineup like this, good fucking luck. Like
you're damn right.
He is so important to all of this, even though he looks like a goofball and he looks like a guy who's like, oh, this guy can't play left field. You know what? Left field ain't that fucking hard. He's going to be fine out there. All right. Not to mention he has fucking Common in center field. Like it's that. I'm not worried about that. This guy is going to hit. He's going to do the things that get you Jessica Rabbit.
Yeah.
That's the kind of shit
boy.
that he's going to do. And I'm down with it. And he's Roger Rabbit.
Treasy, at some point in the offseason, it became that you needed super athletes to play the corner outfield positions. As if White Sox fans didn't watch like Carlos Quentin and Jermaine Dye like struggle to move in the corner outfield and just smash the ball. It's like, how are we making this jump to like all of a sudden you need a lead? You have Luis Robert in center. Who cares?
If we could have 3 DHs and you could plant mine and My Sock Summers fan cutouts in left and right field, it'd be fine.
That'd be fine, exactly. All right. So the next player up is a White Sox fan favorite, in my opinion, sometimes even overloved, and that is Adam Engel. And this category is going to be Chicago comfort foods. Adam Engel's 2021 season is going to be like A, an Italian beef sandwich, B, a deep dish pizza. And yes, I know tavern style is the main style in Chicago. Everyone go fuck yourselves, all right? He's not a good tavern style yet. He's deep dish, which is quality too. There's nothing wrong with that. But we're not giving him tavern style, so shut the fuck up.
Right.
And C, a Maxwell Street Polish. I will start with Teresa E. first on Adam Engel.
He's gonna go the same way I am too.
So
I fucking hate him.
So this is well, you know what? If you
no, you go.
Tell me which one you want. I'll take the other one because
you
there's
go.
2 choices.
You go. It'll be good
sandwich.
extras.
It ain't beef
no,
sandwich.
It's not beef sandwich. No. You go.
All right, I'm gonna go deep dish.
Okay.
I'm gonna go deep dish, and the reason I'm gonna go deep dish is because we don't eat deep dish all the time.
That's right.
It's not an everyday player, right? But when you get that deep dish, if you get it in the right circumstance, oh man, it's fantastic.
Yep.
Right? You got a lefty pitcher on the mound, or you got relatives in from out of town. You're delivering with that deep dish. That's gonna make everyone happy. You're gonna feel real good about it. And that's what Adam Engel is. He's not every day. He's not an everyday entree.
Right.
He's that once in a while when you really need it, when you're in a certain situation. That's Adam Engel. And I'm gonna go deep dish for that.
I agree. Like, I mean, we have like we'll get like 17 Punky's pizzas, and then we'll throw in a Lou Malnati's in there somewhere. Like you get
That's
you
right.
get so much, and then like and I feel like the last time we did it, my wife was like, yeah, but what I don't, that's not what I really want, And I was like, well, what do you want? She's like, I want some deep dish from Lou's. I was like, then fucking get it. We're
Let's do it,
adults.
baby.
We can do whatever we want. Like no one's in the back telling us we can't do it. Like we're the ones that are saying we can't do it. So let's just do it. So I was not gonna go with deep dish though, but along the same lines, I was gonna go with the Polish because the Polish is like not something that you need every day, not something that you want, but when you need it, it's there and it's fucking satisfying and it gets you where you need to go. So it's just like, you know what? Hey, I gotta go hit this real quick and get some fries. We're done. Like I can stay in the car. I can eat it while I'm in the car. I'm getting where I'm going. I'm killing two birds with one stone. And Mingle. I mean, that's who the guy is. He's killing two birds with one stone.
I love it.
Perfect.
You guys killed that one. One you guys
good
crushed,
analogies, yes.
All right. So the next guy up is the longest tenured White Sox, if you can believe it.
Wow.
And that's Slurry Garcia. He was
so
actually
crazy.
Yeah, he was part of the Alex Rios trade. So he was here before Jose Abreu was signed. And so because he's been around here so long, I'm going to call this category nostalgia.
Oh, okay.
Oh boy.
So there's no GILF stuff in this. I thought about it, but I didn't do it.
I was like, Vanessa Del Rio.
Sarah J from one of those 3 years.
I should just let you guys go. Go ahead. I'll sit back on this one. All right. Nostalgia. Is Lurie Garcia's 2021 season going to be like A, the downtown Marshall Fields, B, Old Comiskey Park, or C, Meigs Field? I'm going to actually start with Terezi again on this one. As I'll start with you last on the last one, my Sox. Meigs Field was the little airport that was right down by the lake that was kind of like a private airport that the Dailies tore down in the middle of the night. Allegedly. I gotta be careful what I say in these parts.
Right.
Sorry.
Yeah, I don't think people are gonna like my answer, but it's Meigs Field. It's short, it's fine. We don't really need it. Like that's kind of how I'm looking at Lurie this year. Because like really, if I'm looking at the team, like my fourth outfielder is Adam Engel. Right, and he could play center field, and my backup infielder is Tim Beckham, and Tim Beckham can definitely play shortstop, and so what am I rostering Lurie for? I mean he's a switch hitter, so there's value there, and he's a Swiss Army knife, and I know Joe Sheehan loves him, so Beef loves him. But at the same time,
how dare you? That's both those are true. By the way,
if in the middle of the night Mayor Daley said we got to get rid of this thing, I'd remember him about as much as my Sox Summer remembers Meigs Field.
I don't know. I mean, why would I know? Like, it was
the only place to get a flight straight from Chicago to Sterling.
How dare you?
It landed in a flower patch somewhere near you. Cornfield.
We have an airport, motherfucker. Not
there's
a big
Sterling
one.
Airport.
There's there's a Whiteside County Airport. Yeah, it's not. I mean,
that's where. Yeah, we went straight to Meigs Field. I wasn't lying. I flew
right.
late.
Yeah, you were the pilot too, right?
Yeah, that happened a lot.
How dare you?
I'm gonna go with Marshall Fields because I don't think people long for Larry as much as they do Old Comiskey. So I feel like Old Comiskey is like the creme de la creme. I think your Meigs is like the lowest. And I think Marshall's is like, okay, like, oh, it'd be cool, but we can't go there anyway because of COVID. And most people don't go online. Most people are online shopping now anyway. I think I read something somebody said something like that. They're like, what's the online option? And somebody's like, you could just go there and pick it up. And they're like, yeah, but I'm getting so used to this online thing. And you're like, Motherfucker. You lazy son of a bitch. Like, go to the goddamn store. Like, give your neighbor a job, for Christ's sake. But anyway, I digress. But yeah, no. So I'm gonna go like, I'm gonna go with the Marshall Fields. I don't have any strong feelings, much like I don't have a lot of strong feelings on Lueri Garcia. So like, the motherfucker wouldn't take a picture of me when he was drinking a glass of red wine at the Sox.
Oh, here it is. I knew we get something. You got to get some story,
I go, hey, can you take a picture of me? Because I'm like, I'm all in my head, 108ing. Great picture, Larry Garcia or Yohan Makata. Luckily I didn't get too close to him, but yeah.
So I feel like you might be in with me on Meigs Field if you knew how it ended. They just went there in the middle of the night and just broke up the fucking runway. They just destroyed the runway.
I have heard
that's how they closed it.
And it became Northerly Island, right?
Yeah,
it's the concert venue now. Yeah.
So wouldn't you want to do that to the guy that wouldn't take a picture with you because he was trying to enjoy himself and not be assaulted by fans?
Well, I don't like how you phrased it. I'm not a big fan of that. I just wanted to. Hey, listen, I'm all about the 108 brand. I'm just trying to put it to the next level. So like a picture with an actual White Sox player drinking red wine, like I think that just puts us to the next level. So.
Hey, I'm with you.
Sorry for caring.
I'm not trying to talk shit. I'm just trying to talk shit.
Sorry for helping your pockets lined with those real all those $5 bills.
All that 108 money.
Jesus. Can't believe this. All right. The last player, and we're gonna have my Sox Summer lead off, so pay attention to what the choices are.
I'm paying attention.
All right. Is Andrew Vaughn. Mm-hmm. Now, since Andrew is the hot new girl in the White Sox, like Mickey Free was with Prince back in the 80s.
My wheelhouse. All right.
I figured it might be time to go boy bands.
Oh, that's not my wheelhouse.
So is Andrew Vaughn's 2021 season going to be like A, New Kids on the Block, B, Boys to Men, or C, In Sync?
That's hard.
He's trying to figure out which one he has autographed material of in his basement right now that he can hawk if he promotes them right now during this choice.
Initially I'm like, I want to pick New Kids on the Block because they had like this, and maybe it's just because of my age or whatever, but they seem like they were just gigantic, like even bigger than In Sync. In Sync though, like I feel like Justin Timberlake is bigger than In Sync. So like they had one member become bigger than the whole thing. So New Kids, like none of them motherfuckers ever got bigger than the New Kids thing. The New Kids thing was the thing. So yeah, I want Vaughn just to be the thing. I don't want him to somehow get bigger later or be part of something. I want him just to be the thing. I'm gonna go with New Kids on the Block.
See, I'm not even debating the two that you were worried about.
Yeah,
I'm going right up the middle for Boys to Men, and here's why. When I was young, with the New Kids on the Block were the big thing, but it was the ladies that were into it. Like the boys were like, I don't want any piece of this. This is not cool. And In Sync was similar. Boys to Men, fucking everyone just loved them.
That's true.
Like it was a thing for everyone. And I feel like Andrew Vaughn is like that. Andrew Vaughn is a guy that, like, even people that are like, well, they should hold him back for some service time, or do you really want to give? And I'm one of these people. Do you really want to just put all this pressure on this dude and say you're going to be the DH? But at the end of the day, if Andrew Vaughn comes up and hits, 2-3 home runs in April, we're going to be all over it. And if he hits 10 in the first 2 months, we're going to be going crazy. And if he's a 30 home run guy, we're going to the fucking World Series. So Andrew Vaughn could be like this guy that comes up and just everyone loves. And I am a little concerned because I mentioned this to you the other day when I was watching Andrew Vaughn, and I'm like, he's got a great eye at the plate.
Yep.
And guys who have a great eye at the plate, people fucking hate to watch. I mean, and we all look back on Frank Thomas as like the greatest hitter of all time.
Right.
But Beef, I remember we'd go to games every once in a while. The times we'd get to go to a game, and there was some asshole that's going, "What's with this guy? He's just a looker. Just gonna take a fucking walk."
He'd take a
And it's
couple
just like,
walks during the game.
well, yeah, he wants to swing at the good pitches.
Exactly.
Don't give him those. Like, I'm worried about that backlash to Andrew Vaughn more than I'm worried about him being bad. Like, to me, that's like the real concern. But at the end of the day, if this guy's crushing home runs, like, he is boys to men. Everyone's gonna be enamored with this dude until we see Giolito leave in 2020, 2024. And at that point, it will be so hard to say goodbye to yesterday.
You just crushed it.
I was not trying to set that up, but I'm glad that happened.
All right. Time for me to pay some bills.
So Beef has to
fuck
piss.
up.
Beef.
No, I'm
Beef
good. I'm good.
Are you good? Okay.
My teeth are floating, but I'm good. Go ahead.
I was going to spend the next 10
out.
minutes talking about the Doors with West Coast My Side
Ooh,
Summer. But
Doors.
We'll skip into.
We should
We'll
save
skip
that.
into the AL Central.
If you guys want to do it, I could take a lap. I mean,
No.
Okay.
I'd love to get into the AL Central preview of
Let's do that.
the Kansas City Royals. Beef, why don't you take it away?
Absolutely. So the Kansas City Royals, according to PointsBet.com, our sponsor, that's promo code 108. You can sign up at PointsBet, and you can bet some regular season win totals like the Beef Loaf has been doing. I'm going to bet on every single team. I've already put on a couple blogs. I'll probably do another one or two this weekend, betting on some more of the teams. The Kansas City Royals regular season win total over under at PointsBet.com right now is 72.5. Not to let you know what the Beef Loaf's thinking, but I'm kind of feeling that over a little bit. We'll see when we get to the blog. Their AL Central division odds, so that would be their chances to win the AL Central, is plus 4,000 or 40-1. And then their World Series odds are plus 10,000, which is 100-1 basically. So the Royals are a bit of a long shot this year. We kind of all knew that. The Royals, not that great last year. They made some signs in the offseason that look like a real team. And so, slightly improved odds in total. Now, I'd love to go around the room and find out what the fellas think about a player that they're really interested in watching on the 2021 Royals.
So first, I'll start by saying I agree on the over on the Royals. Like, I think that they'll go over 72.5. I don't think they'll go a lot over 72.5. But I think they did a lot of things in the offseason that if the Sox did similar stuff, people would be pretty excited about. They went out and got guys like Carlos Santana. They traded for Andrew Benintendi. They picked up who did they pick? Mike Minor. I think it was.
Yeah, they signed Mike Minor. That was one of the first signings right out of the gate.
Pitcher. I mean, like, and that's not some great pitcher, right? But that is a guy that if you signed Mike Minor instead of Carlos Rodon, people probably would have been more excited about Mike Minor, even though I'm not sure that the production is going to be really any different.
Yeah, the Royals, in my opinion, like, they did what a team should do in the offseason when you have kind of some prospects coming, is just fill in the roster with actual players. And I hear too much of the smart podcast saying, well, they're making themselves more watchable. No, they're not. What they're doing is they're little by little increasing their chances of making the playoffs. So maybe, even though their odds to win the Central on there, say 40-1, I think that's actually a really good bet. Let's say 1 in 20 times or 1 in 15 times, this shit all goes right, and they do win the AL Central. You want to put yourself in that position. You don't want to put yourself in the position where you're like 0% chance to win anything. And also, when you're developing players, you'd like them to be around other players that actually know how to play, not just a bunch of bullshit. I understand the tear down sort of tank thing if it's specifically for a draft pick situation. But the Royals are beyond that. So start putting some good players on the field, at least reasonable players.
Yeah, and you're also putting yourself in a position where if all of these guys hit, then obviously it's going to be a possible playoff situation. If one or two of them hit, then it's also a situation where you could go like, I'm going to trade these guys and see what I could get for these guys at the deadline. I think they've put themselves in a really good position, but it's not any of these guys that are kind of, like should have beens, like a Michael A. Taylor or someone like that, where I'm just like, oh, what if he has a season? That's not necessarily the guy I'm looking at. A guy that I'm looking at is Brady Singer. And Brady Singer is a guy, like, if he becomes the pitcher that they drafted him to become, then that's going to be a problem in the Central. Like, you don't want these teams to have aces. And I mean, they drafted Brady Singer to be an ace. He's probably lined up as like their 3 or 4 for this season. But if he makes that leap, that's a huge problem for the Sox.
Yeah.
And so that's the thing that I'm going to be watching this year is his progression. There's not a lot of other guys on that team where I'm just like really like, man, this guy's going to be a problem for a long time in our division. It's Brady Singer that I'm worried about. Like, and Brady, if I'm sure you're listening to this, I don't mean you any ill will, but I want you to suck.
My sucks some rubber too.
I just tune on. I just put on the 40 man for the Royals, and Brady Singer looks like exactly a guy that would just fuck up the Sox every time he was in town. Like, he just has that smug look on his face. Like, he's like, look at this fucking yokel. Yeah, he's gonna blow our fucking.
Well, he's also the guy that on draft day, people were saying the Sox would take at 4.
Yes. Yeah.
And they took Nick Madrigal.
Right.
Yeah. And so if Brady Singer's real good, it's going to be just another level of like, they took the wrong guy.
Yeah.
And so it's going to be even more painful in that scenario. It's going to be like when you watch every quarterback that was not Mitch Trubisky in that draft.
Yeah.
And people are like, oh, why did you take Mitch Trubisky?
Why did you get him?
It's going to be similar to that.
I'm going to take something that doesn't have a lot of in-depth process behind it. It is not something that you guys can look at and say, oh, I should watch this guy. It could be something. I'm picking a guy from my hometown, Jacob Junis. He's from Sterling, Illinois. So that's the only guy that I've been watching on the Royals for years, since he's been up. Just like to watch guys that came from where, the mean streets of Sterling. I know you all know that I lived out on the West Coast, but I also lived on the mean streets of Sterling, Illinois. Shout out John Shank. I know he's listening. Kelly's, let's go. That's all right. So anyway, Lisa's Bar and Grill. Go hit that up right next to Kelly's. You got all these places you can go right there and just get fucked up.
Was that free ads?
Maybe I'm just trying to tease them. Maybe I'm trying to tease them.
Right,
so,
okay.
but yeah, no. Jacob Junis is your pitcher. I think he's about their 4th guy. Just all the good things for him. So that's the only guy that I really watch, with the Royals.
Beef, let me ask you, who's a guy you're looking at?
All right, so I kind of agree with you, Treasy, on Brady Singer, and then they also have Chris Bubich that's coming up. So they have some of the pitching coming up. But I think the real difference maker, I think they'll have some of this pitching hit. They drafted a fair amount of college pitching. I think like this year, next year, kind of the years coming, they're going to throw the ball well enough. The way the Royals do it, they can sign the random guy that's kind of not really that great of a hitter, but can run and play defense, and their ballpark is going to protect them in a way where they're going to be like a huge pain in the ass to us. Mm-hmm. The guy could be a difference maker to them if he gets there, and he's like super volatile asset. He's like, if you look on pointsbet.com right now for stolen bases, he is a gigantic favorite to lead the major leagues in stolen bases at plus 120. And I think Trey Turner's the next one behind him, and he's like plus 350. I mean, like, he's quite a ways behind him. That's Adalberto Mondesi. Mondesi could end up being the type of guy who is like, you're no good, you can't hit, you're a minor leaguer, or fucking superstar like Javi Baez style, right? Where he's like a strikeout a lot, but runs and has some power and all the speed and like the flash and everything. And if he becomes the high end of what he could become, that's kind of a big problem for the White Sox. Like the
I don't want to become that.
The Royals have enough of these we always laugh about how I like the Tigers, and the Tigers have a good pedigree with the pitchers, and they'll spend a bunch of money. The Royals aren't going to ever run out a big payroll like that, but they have enough of these smaller bets, and they've been at least signing rosters where it's like, son of a bitch. If they hit right, they could win 87 games and really fuck us up, like really give us some problems in a random year, right? That's what the Royals look like right now. They're, like I said in a previous podcast, they're like 12 years old. They're still at the kids' table, but they're almost at the adults' table, right? And everything breaks right. If Aunt Edna passes before Thanksgiving, they're at the adult table. There's nothing you can do about it, right? And then they're going to be a problem when they get there. So, like, that's what I'm worried about.
They do the things that is, if you were a fan of a small market team, and we kind of are in some respects,
right?
You know, like the team acts like that sometimes. They do those things that you'd want them to do, right? Like two of their non-roster invites this year are Wade Davis and Brad Brock. And you're like, those guys are both guys that you're like, they could close if they're doing well. Like,
well,
if they show up, they're
Treasy, they got it to work last year with Greg Holland. See, like,
right.
they have had success with that. Yes, they had success with that in the past, where they'll just bring in a random old guy. It's like, that guy's toast, and they bring him in. It's like, nope, we fixed him, and this guy can really pitch again. Like, they have enough of that where I don't want to look back and see him. That's I don't want, you don't want to look back. It's like, fuck, they're right there.
Like, they just feel like a pain in the ass team. They just feel like a team that you lose too many games to in the division. And you know what? I hope, if I could just wish something into existence, is I hope they're a huge pain in the ass for the Twins.
Yes.
Like, I just hope that they just beat the shit out of the Twins all season, and the Twins fans are like, what happened? Why are we losing to the Royals? And it's just Carlos Santana hit 4 home runs every game against the Twins. I want to wake up in that world.
That's right. I mean, that's the way to channel it. All the teams that could be a pain in the ass, let them be a pain in the ass to the Twins and not to us. I love that idea.
I agree with that too.
Absolutely.
Hold on. Before we go, I want
Okay.
everyone to raise their glass. We got a friend with a birthday today, or soon. I don't know.
In a couple hours, I think.
A couple hours? All right, so a couple hours. Here's to you, Father Zoe. Happy birthday, you motherfucker. This
Happy
is for
birthday,
you. Thanks
Zoe.
for coming and doing our show, supporting us, always retweeting our bullshit. We appreciate you.
Yeah, cheers, Father Zoe.
Cheers.
Mm-hmm.
A moment of silence for the Zoe. But yeah,
Wonderful.
other than that, yeah, I'm good.
Awesome. I don't think I skipped any more segments.
I don't think
I'm
so.
pretty sure we're done. But Beef, I apologize. I thought this was going to be a 3-hour show tonight. 2 hours.
Lined it right up. I told you, baby.